Welcome back to Benton Homestead, y'all. Our work this morning was supposed to be outside, but as you can see, we're getting rained out. While we wait for a break in the rain, I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to take you back into this abandoned house that we call home. Let's go take a look inside our former inn, built in 1940. So come on in. We'll start by stepping inside the Doma. And already we are greeted by Sumi. I think we had lived in this house for over a year before I finally got to the point of cleaning out this shoe cupboard and making it our own. So now it does actually have our own shoes inside. We have umbrellas, rain gear. This is where we keep mosquito coils and also Bosco's treats. What I love about this room is definitely the tile floor. The green, blue, and red color combination. Those tiny tiles. Absolutely love it. The eagle-eyed among you might notice something a little strange about this area. And no, I'm not talking about the board that's missing. The first thing you might notice is that this step up here has a seam in a strange spot. Also, these two pieces of wood joining are different sizes, which is not something you would see, as well as the cement footer down here seems to extend underneath, along with the tile pattern. So even though this Doma is just one small room of the house, we do have a little bit of mystery surrounding as we try to figure out what it originally looked like when it was built in 1940. We suspect there have been some changes to this room during the major expansion projects that took place over the next few decades to turn this private residence into a ryokan inn. But continuing on with the tour, here you can peek into my office, and the next room there on the right is the room that we live in. These are basically the only rooms of the house that we're using, so it's convenient that they're right here by the entrance. Bosco says he would like to come out and join the tour, please. This central room is the crown jewel of the house. It's very large by Japanese standards with nice high ceilings. Now we are using it as our makeshift bedroom, living room, cat room, dog room, basically our whole house. We have literally hundreds of photographs showing how this room was used over the years, which include holding weddings, serving meals, and as a community event space. Living in Japan with no heat or air conditioning, it is really nice to be able to utilize the way that this house was originally constructed to function by opening this whole wall of windows, which are sliding doors. You can see we only have one open right now, which Bosco's wet footprints will show you. But it really does help cool the house down naturally. It's not perfect. It still gets super sweaty in here, but this time of year it's still sort of not too bad. Moving further down the hallway, you come to our bathroom. We have these adorably tiled double sinks here, which I honestly believe I will be able to restore back to beauty at some point. Rounding this corner is the bathroom for the former inn. So we actually have two stalls in there, one with a Western style toilet, one with a Japanese squatty potty, and a urinal. And you may notice that we now have some beautiful natural light coming in through these windows above the sinks here. Our friend Marcus came to visit us, and one of the things that he helped us with was to tear down the outhouse that was blocking all the light from coming in these windows. The outhouse had an additional squatty potty and a urinal. Neither of those had plumbing, so they just went to a bucket in the ground, and that has now been removed. Walking further down this hallway, we believe originally this wall also had the beautiful glass sliding doors, as this was the original outside of the house. One piece of evidence to support that theory is here above the sinks. we have an unused track that would have been for those sliding doors here. But down below the sinks there is no track, and instead we see some cement. Plus this bathroom here that was added on is a cinder block structure, not wood. As we continue down this hallway, there is more evidence that would support the theory that this was the original edge of the house. However, it's a bit dark back here, and this part of the house is a little bit maze-like, so it's kind of difficult to show in video. Outside of the shower room here, this is one of the only areas of the house that had some water damage to the floor, and so Sumi can step on it, but we cannot step right where she is. We've got to do a little wiggle around in order to get to the shower room. It might not sound very exciting, but the day that we get to take a shower or a bath in our own house, after currently about 18 months of living here, that will be a very, very happy day. At this point in the hallway, we have the option of going left, which would take you to the shower room, upstairs, and back to these other rooms here, which would have been beyond the inn area and into the owner's private space. Or we can take a right and head this way. This room here on the left we have called the treasure room. Now we are calling it the Matriarch's room. I still have not gone through everything in here. I've done a couple of videos, but I have a lot more to go through in here. This is another thing that Marcus helped us with when he came to visit us. He helped me go through a couple of these dresser drawers, many of which were full of mouse droppings, but we found some cool things. And gosh, I just really need to get back into here and see what else we have. If you watched any of my previous videos when I first started going through this room, the reason that we started calling it the Matriarch's room is that this room had a lot of female's belongings. We had her makeup, her nice clothes, and it seemed like some more historic items that were perhaps from her parents or grandparents. It's a very interesting room, and everything was very neatly packed away. As we see a few times in this house, these are the original exterior windows, which are now interior windows. This goes to our back hallway here, and it's going to be impossible to explain on video without showing perhaps a layout of the house itself, but we might actually incorporate this room into the kitchen and dining space when we eventually remodel this into our dream house. This is what I mean by interior windows. There's our hallway back there, which used to be outside. The Matriarch's room is the one part of the house that Evan and I can't fully agree on how we would like to renovate it in the future. But fortunately, we don't have the time or money to work on our own house, as we have to spend all of our time and money working on our business here in Japan. So we have plenty of time to figure it out and come to a design idea that we agree on. But one thing that we do already agree upon is that we want to keep these beautiful wooden built-in cupboards in the back of this room. That's what we really love about this room. Now moving further down this hallway past the Matriarch's room, this is again our living space on the right hand side, and we're about to head into our kitchen, and then this is the back kitchen room here. There's some interesting things going along here as we meet another outside edge of the original structure of the house. This hallway with these glass doors that lock would have been the original engawa running along this side of the house. Also, here you can see the wood behind this kind of cool, kind of kitschy kitchen cabinet here was also an exterior wall. Here we have a view that I don't show very often on video. This is an overview of our kitchen space. It's definitely the worst condition room of the house, which is inconvenient because this is our kitchen. But then moving along, you see the door frame here. All of this would have been outside. Then this door frame would have at some point gone into an original part of the house. We know when this was used as a sashimi restaurant, this was part of the kitchen. There are 4 gas stove hookups back there. And the former owner's now elderly niece told us that this raised tatami platform here is where the staff would sit and enjoy their meals together. I've made a lot of videos covering this room as we go through the dishes. It's sort of constantly ebbing and flowing as I move items in and out of here through various organization projects. Slowly, 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 it's all coming together. And then, of course, down this back hallway, which also would have been the private space for the owner and staff as opposed to the guests at the inn. This is the former office over here. I did a whole video going through this office and that large cabinet there. Moving forward, this here is a side entrance that we use to our house fairly regularly. So I have turned this cabinet successfully into our own house utility cupboard. And then this cabinet has a lot of gardening things. Basically what you're looking at in this utility cupboard is everything in one place that we have left over from all the little different random things that you need to purchase for the guest house renovation and the few things that we've done at this house. And this half of the cupboard is mostly things that we have found from in the house that we have been using or will use in the future for restoration. So this is original antique things that we can use for the upcoming remodel. I've made this very convenient for ourselves. It's a nice place that we actually use in our half-abandoned half house. It's been long enough. I really need to invest in a nice flatbed scanner to preserve all of the historic photos here in the house. This is just one of many photos. They took quite a few photos of their pets, including this adorable white fluffy dog who may or may not be an ancestor of Bosco's pack here in the neighborhood. There's just so many cool historic photos of this house, but also traveling throughout Japan. I would love to get high-resolution scans of all those. Let's head back this way through the second kitchen room, through the kitchen, following Bosco here. This hallway leads to a few more cool rooms and that back hallway that I showed you previously from inside the Matriarch's room. But before we pass through the kitchen entirely, I wanted to show you something that I do actually love about the kitchen. Not just these amazing retro tiles that I really hope we are able to keep in our redesign, but you might think this is a design flaw, that there's a step up on the tiles here. Any ideas why it was designed like this? This kitchen floor is actually designed for you to be able to throw down buckets of mop water, mop, and then direct all that water towards this little culvert that actually goes directly outside. The downside is that the drain on the other side has no sort of grate or covering, so when we had an unwelcome snake visitor in our kitchen, he probably came in through here. But it's also a cool design to be able to mop very easily. This kitchen is also designed to be at one with nature, as this plant is freely growing inside from the outside, refreshing our oxygen. Now, unfortunately, these cupboards are probably beyond saving. If you know our restoration at the guest house, you know that I do like the stainless steel countertops because they're just basically indestructible. They're going to last forever. But I am very sad that these enamel covered metal doors and drawers have just rusted through. So at some point sooner rather than later, we are going to have to replace these. This massive fridge is probably going to be the first appliance that I attempt to restore. It's so cool, metal, really nice details. I've been following a few appliance restoration pages on Instagram. One of them happens to be from Oregon, which I only found out recently. But they have inspired me to try and save this cool retro fridge and freezer. The former owner's niece also told us that this is where they would stand to prepare the sashimi, right underneath the fan. And the chalkboard here is where their orders would be written. Okay, finally, moving down this back hallway, I've also made a video or two back here. It's significantly improved from where we first found it, believe it or not. And here we find another original exterior wall that has been enclosed. These display cupboards will be moved over to our future retro shop as soon as it's safe to do so, once we get some funding to fix the roof over there. But right now they're holding some of my favorite things found in the house. I've been collecting all the beautiful wooden buckets and baskets and cooking implements, all back here in this cupboard. I just love looking at these, so I won't be selling all of them at our future shop. I'd like to keep quite a few for decorations here at the house in order to honor the history of what this house was over the years. I've also set aside in here a few dishes that I particularly like, along with this whole tin full of adorable fish and eggplant-shaped chopstick rests. And this cool metal thermos. And this adorable pufferfish sake dispenser. Continuing down this back hallway, we are almost reaching the final two rooms on the ground floor, and you might recognize this area. I was working on organizing this in a video during the same time that Evan was trying to get us hot water, which we still don't have. This is part of my beautiful wooden box collection. This is also a super cool wooden box. I only noticed recently it has these carvings on the bottom side of it. This is a cool retro kerosene heater that was recently given to us. This is how we will warm our future retro shop in the winter. And finally, these two rooms down here are rooms that I'm using as temporary storage to organize the rest of the belongings that were left behind. In this room here, we have outdoor equipment, fishing gear, a lot of fabric materials. These are clothes. That dresser is full of cool old clothes. We've got gift boxes, lots of gift boxes, and umbrellas, shoes, and that sort of thing. I particularly love this nice red metal lantern. This little backpack cracks me up. Rocky, the mountain range in North America. Boy, this room has a lot of great things in it too. Lots of cool stuff. I wish I could just spend all day looking at it. I've collected all the photo albums and loose photos here. Literally thousands of photographs. I really need to invest in a scanner so I can start archiving and sharing those photos. Here's my record players, VCRs, and speakers, and my growing retro CRT collection. Don't throw out your old TVs, guys. Even if they don't work or even if they're ugly, a lot of the components can be used for repairing other CRTs, or even cooler, for repairing arcade consoles. This technology is not being produced anymore, and we're just on the verge of still being able to save some of it from the landfill and being lost forever. A lot of this is display pieces and home decorations. All of these are perfectly savable. They all need cleaned up and a little bit of restoration. We will do all of that eventually. None of this will go in the landfill. All of these gift boxes are also decorations and things for the house. Most of these were found here in the house or our other guest house. Some of them have been given to us because when you live in rural Japan and you make friends with people and they find out that you like retro items, they start offering to give you things that they don't want anymore, including these water buffalo horns. This room also has some cool photography equipment, office supplies, and this is where I've been collecting all the old tape decks, 8-track players, records, and what else do we have here? Oh yeah, some reel-to-reels. Now, I understand completely that going through all of this old stuff, sorting, organizing, and restoring is not for everyone. It is very overwhelming, and it's a crazy amount of work even for me. But I am inspired and motivated to, over time, restore and save all of this. I don't want any of this to be thrown away. I really don't know what I'm going to do with 3 boxes of golf trophies. I mean, I'm even excited about this pencil sharpener. Along with most of the dishes in the dish room, some of the items in the back hallway, some of the items in the Matriarch's room, and some of the items in the other storage room next door, a lot of these are going to go to our future retro shop once that space is renovated. For now, it's not bothering anyone to hang out in this back room of our house. Continuing with the tour, that brings us to the end of this other side of the back hallway, where we have another internal rain gutter draining into an internal drain. Cool. If we go through this door here and move this cool sewing machine aside, we can then take you upstairs. I have this sewing machine that was generously given to us by a neighbor, blocking the bottom of the staircase because as soon as Bosco and Poncon go up there, they both get the zoomies. Bosco, want to go upstairs? What did I tell you? He loves it up here. Now, nothing's really changed about up here since the last time I filmed. This space is mostly cleared out. I did vacuum it at one point. We haven't done anything up here. But this will be the easiest part of the house to remodel. It basically just needs cleaned, some wood stain, some new fusuma, sliding doors, a dog to run around like crazy. Oh, got that. What I love about upstairs is this beautiful wood lace divider between these two rooms. I love the glass in these retro style sliding doors. This beautiful light coming in this hallway. I love that we figured out there's a little bit of space here below the roof line, so we can add a wall of cubbies here if we choose. Boy, I haven't been up here in a while, but I am freshly inspired to start renovating up here. Now I just need to find some free time. Look at this. Amazing. That's another window inside that used to be outside. Bosco, come on. Time to go. Bosco, Sumi's calling you. All right, well, making our way back to where we started. Actually looks like that break in the rain has arrived. Time for me to go check on Evie, see if he's ready to start our mixed flower, wildflower honey harvest, or if I should start pulling some weeds in our front yard, both of which I need to do today. Thanks for coming along to see a tour of the current condition of this abandoned house that we call home. Believe it or not, it's been a long road to get to this point, but we clearly have even further to go before this will be a nice, comfortable house. Good boy, bring me your bunny.